He also said the US and UK were joined at the hip on military matters, while Mrs. May said they stood shoulder to shoulder in facing shared threats. In a series of warm exchanges in Davos, Switzerland, President Trump also told the UK PM, "We love your country." He also rejected false rumors of differences, saying that the two leaders like each other a lot. It was their first meeting since clashing over the US president's retweets of far-right videos. And earlier this month Mr. Trump cancelled a visit to the UK, criticizing the location of the US Embassy in London. But after their meeting, Mr. Trump told Mrs. May at their news conference, "I have great respect for everything you are doing. We love your country. I think it's really great." The two leaders met in Davos, at the World Economic Forum, with post-Brexit trade relations between the two countries high on the agenda. Mr. Trump said, "One thing that will be taking place over a number of years will be trade. Trade is going to increase many times. I look forward to that. The discussions that will be taking place are going to lead to tremendous increases in trade between our two countries, which is great for both in terms of jobs." Ahead of the meeting, BBC Business editor Simon Jack said the question would be how special the UK-US special relationship was after some strain over the past 12 months. He said that what mattered was whether it remained strong on issues like trade, defense and intelligence. The UK Prime Minister had earlier addressed the Davos Forum about the need to put more pressure on tech giants to deal with extremist content and tackle child abuse and modern slavery on social networks. She said shareholders should use their influence to ensure these issues are taken seriously. "No one wants to be known as the terrorist platform, or the first choice app for pedophiles," she said. She said some progress had been made but more must be done so that ultimately this content is removed automatically. "These companies have some of the best brains in the world. They must focus their brightest and best on meeting these fundamental social responsibilities." She said the UK was establishing itself as a leader in artificial intelligence, AI, with many startup AI businesses being created in the last few years. But she acknowledged people's concerns about the impact of technology on jobs, pointing to Uber as an example of a company that had got things wrong along the way. The ride-hailing firm should not be shut down but should address concerns about safety and workers' rights and enforce standards that can make this technology work for customers and employees alike, she said. Mrs. May said that employment law must keep pace with the way technology is changing jobs, and while it must protect the flexibility companies valued, it must not be a one-way street deal that can become exploitative. U.S. trade deal. And she added that rhetoric about backing free trade in Davos was often not matched by action. The World Trade Organization still needs to go much further in its reforms, ensuring its rulebook keeps pace with developments in the global economy. Ahead of her meeting with President Trump, Mrs. May said a whole range of policy areas would be discussed, including North Korea, Syria, and Iran. She also said both the UK and the US were keen on striking a free trade deal after the UK leaves the EU, adding, "We're already working on how we can shape that." Earlier, U.S. Treasury Secretary Stephen Mnuchin said the UK would still be at the front of the queue for a trade deal. "As soon as the UK is ready, we will be prepared to negotiate an attractive trade deal," he told the BBC in Davos. Mr. Mnuchin met Mark Carney, Governor of the Bank of England, on Wednesday to discuss Brexit, and he will meet Philip Hammond, the Chancellor, on Thursday.